Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into something that's really the hidden engine behind most modern businesses, data warehouse architecture. Now, I know it sounds super complex, but stick with me. By the end of this, you'll see it's actually a surprisingly logical and really powerful blueprint for making sense of all your data. So, let me ask you a question. When you think about your company's data, what pops into your head? Is it, just a totally chaotic, messy kitchen with ingredients thrown everywhere? Or is it more like a Michelin star restaurant where every single thing is perfectly prepped, organized, and ready to become a masterpiece? Because that difference right there, that's what we're talking about today. I mean, think about it. A top chef can't operate in chaos. And in the same way, there's no way a business can make smart decisions with messy, disorganized data. That's exactly why we need an architecture, a solid blueprint, to tame all that chaos and build a system that just works from start to finish. So what is it officially? Well, it's the master plan that manages the entire journey of your data. We're talking from all its different sources, all the way to the analysis tools you and your team use every day. The whole point is to build this rock-solid foundation for business intelligence so we can make those smarter, data-driven decisions we're all after.
So how do we get from raw data to brilliant insight? Well, it's a four-step journey. We're going to walk through every single one. But let's start with the first two, because they're all about gathering those raw ingredients and getting them ready for the main event.
Okay, so here's the roadmap for that whole journey. We acquire, we stage, we store, and we present. Just think of it like this. We collect the ingredients, we prep them in the kitchen, we organize them in the pantry, and then finally we serve the meal. Simple, right? Let's start at the beginning.
All right, first up, the data acquisition layer. Its only job is to go out and collect all the raw data from wherever it happens to live. This could be things like your ERP system, that's enterprise resource planning, or your CRM for customer data, and even just simple spreadsheets or flat files. Just picture the restaurant supply truck, right? It's heading out to all these different farms and suppliers, picking up vegetables from one place, spices from another. In the business world, that means grabbing sales data from one system, customer info from another. It's all about gathering those raw materials.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. You might be pulling transaction details from your ERP, contact lists from your CRM, or maybe even getting external data from something like an XML file. And at this point, remember, it's all completely raw. We haven't done a thing to it yet. Now, once we have all our raw ingredients, we can't just throw them into the main warehouse. No way. First, they have to go to the staging area. This place is absolutely crucial. It's a temporary zone where all the data gets cleaned up and transformed. It's basically our quality control checkpoint.
And in our restaurant, this is the prep kitchen, for sure. It's where you wash the vegetables, chop the onions, and measure out all the flour. You're getting everything consistent and ready before it ever gets close to the final dish. That's exactly what the staging area does for your data. And in practice, that prepping means things like scrubbing sales data to get rid of duplicate entries, standardizing all your address formats so they look the same, or correcting weird, inconsistent values. This is the step that guarantees that what finally makes it into your warehouse is clean, reliable, and totally consistent. All right, so our data's prepped. It's pristine. Now what? We've got to store it. And we're not talking about some messy cupboard. This is a perfectly organized pantry where everything has its own special place. And that brings us to step 3, the data storage layer. This is the heart of the whole system, the core warehouse itself. Here, all that clean, transformed data is carefully organized into special structures, usually in these things called fact and dimension tables. You might hear them called star schemas. So welcome to the pantry, all those washed and chopped ingredients. They're now in labeled containers on clearly marked shelves. You know exactly where the flour is, where the spaces are, and exactly how much you have of each. It is all about organization for super easy access later. So what does this look like for a business? It means your historical sales data isn't just dumped in some random folder. It's meticulously stored and organized into a structure like a star schema, which is designed for one thing: making analysis super fast and super easy. So, we've collected our ingredients, we've prepped them, and we've stored them in our perfect pantry. And now, for the payoff. This is the fun part. It's time to take that beautifully organized data and turn it into something genuinely valuable. It's time to serve the final meal. Okay, the fourth and final step, the presentation layer. This is kind of like the front of the house in our restaurant. It's where the actual users, the managers, the analysts, the executives get to interact with the data through their favorite reporting tools, dashboards, or by running their own queries. And here we are, the final course. The perfectly cooked dish is served on a beautiful plate. In the data world, that plate is a clean report, an interactive dashboard, or the results of a powerful query. It's the finished product, ready for you to dig in and get those insights. Think about it. Your sales manager isn't digging through spreadsheets anymore. They're looking at quarterly trends on an easy-to-read Power BI dashboard. An analyst can run SQL queries to do a really deep dive, and the marketing team gets all their insights from clear, beautiful reports in Tableau. This is what makes data accessible for everyone. Okay, so after all that, why bother? Was it worth it? Absolutely. The payoff is huge. Because you've done all this work, you get seamless data integration from all your sources, you get guaranteed data quality, you get incredible efficiency for your analysis, and finally, you get true user accessibility. It's what empowers everyone to make better decisions. Wow, that was a whirlwind tour, right? So before we wrap this up, let's do a super quick recap of the architectural blueprint to make sure this all sticks. Okay, let's break it down one last time. We acquire the raw data from sources like an ERP. Then we stage it to clean things up, like removing duplicates. Next, we store it in an organized structure like a star schema. And finally, we present it in something like a dashboard for everyone to use. See? Each step builds perfectly on the last one. Look, if you're going to remember just one thing from all of this, make it this simple memory tip. Acquire is to collect, stage is to clean, store is to organize, and present is to share. 4 simple words that really define the entire data journey. So there you have it. That's the blueprint for turning data chaos into a 5-star operation. The only question left is, what incredible insights are just waiting to be cooked up in your data? Thanks so much for watching.